Why wait for the fire when you can just take away the matches? Let's get real. Dan Heath's Upstream is basically a slap in the face to our obsession with cleaning up messes instead of stopping them from happening. And honestly, he's got a point. Man, we're all out here scrambling, buckets in hand, mops flailing, acting like that's just how things are supposed to be. I mean, at this point, we could open a towel shop with the amount we go through. And it's not just exhausting and expensive, it's almost comical. We're treating the symptoms and totally ignoring the cause, like trying to fight a forest fire with a squirt gun. Maybe if we put half as much energy into finding the real problem as we do into mopping up after it, we'd stop the flood for good. But nah, easier to just keep buying towels, right? So Heath's big pitch is, stop doing that. Get upstream. Fix the leak instead of just mopping up the puddle over and over. It sounds obvious when you say it out loud, but for some reason, most organizations, schools, hospitals, heck, even families are stuck in this frantic hamster wheel mode, always reacting, never preventing. Downstream thinking. The world's favorite bad habit thief starts by dragging the way we deal with stuff like schools don't really care about a kid until they're already flunking out. Hospitals, oh, they'll slap a band-aid on you the second you cough up a lung. But try asking how to dodge getting sick in the first place. Good luck. You'll get a half-hearted brochure and a look that screams, "Not my problem, pal." Seriously, it's like nobody cares until the house is already burning down, then suddenly everyone's a firefighter. Meanwhile, the stove's been blazing away this whole time, and nobody even blinked. And this isn't just a boo society bad rant. It's actually expensive as hell. Constantly reacting eats up time, money, and energy that could be used to, I dunno, actually improve things. Plus, people get burned out. Teachers, nurses, customer service reps, they're all stuck in triage mode. And it's brutal. Heath's river metaphor nails it. If people keep falling in, don't just fish them out, go see why they keep falling. Maybe put up a fence, or a sign, or at least yell at whoever's pushing them. But here's the kicker. Systems just aren't built for prevention. You'd think fixing problems before they start would be the default, right? Nope. Most systems are set up for crisis response, not prevention. It's like the whole world has a hero complex. Nobody wants to be the person who quietly made sure the disaster never happened. Everyone wants to be the firefighter, not the guy who bans smoking in bed. So, what's stopping us from going upstream? Heath says there are 3 big, ugly roadblocks. 1. Problem blindness. Sometimes, we don't even see a problem as a problem. Stuff like chronic absenteeism or homelessness just becomes part of the landscape. That's just how things are. People get used to it, and nobody asks, could this be different? It's like wallpaper. Eventually, you just stop noticing it. 2. Lack of ownership. Ever seen a problem that everyone agrees is bad but nobody does anything about? That's because it falls between the cracks. It's not my job. In any big system, when responsibility is fuzzy, action doesn't happen. Everyone's stuck playing hot potato with the blame. 3. Tunneling. This one's brutal. When you're drowning in emergencies, long-term thinking is a luxury. You just don't have the headspace to plan ahead. So you get stuck in survival mode, patching holes but never fixing the boat. If you want to stop the cycle, you gotta bulldoze these barriers. Otherwise, You're just putting out the same fire every Monday, 7 questions to get yourself and everyone else thinking Upstream Heath isn't just pointing out problems, he's got a game plan. He throws out 7 questions to help people and organizations flip the script and actually start preventing stuff for once. Let's dig a little deeper into a few of these, because honestly, they're worth more than a passing glance. 1. Who's on your team? And yeah, you need a team. Upstream work is a group project. Whether you like it or not, you can't just toss the problem to one person and expect miracles. Heath talks about Chicago public schools. They wrangled everyone from data geeks to social workers to administrators, all pulling in the same direction. The result? They caught on to which kids might bail on school before things went off the rails. No hocus pocus here, just a bunch of folks actually talking to each other and working toward the same thing. Lone wolves need not apply to. How do you hack the system? Let's face it, most problems aren't about people being lazy or dumb, it's the system that's busted. Heath points out how a hospital cut down on infections, not by blaming nurses, but by redesigning workflows and making it easier to wash hands. Change the system, and you change the outcome. Blaming individuals is lazy. Fixing systems? That's where real change happens, and honestly, that applies everywhere. Think about traffic jams. Yelling at drivers won't help, but changing city planning just might. 3. Where's the leverage? Here's where it gets spicy. Not all fixes are created equal. Upstream thinkers are basically detectives, looking for the tiniest change that makes the biggest difference. Find that one domino that, when you tip it over, everything else falls into place. It could be a new rule, a better technology, or just a smarter habit. The key is don't waste energy on band-aids when you can fix things at the source. A little real talk. Why don't more people do this? Honestly, because it's hard. Prevention is invisible. Nobody throws you a parade for the disaster that never happened. Plus, you have to work with people you might not like, and you have to fight inertia. It's way easier to keep reacting than to slow down and rethink the whole system. And let's be real, sometimes the people who benefit from the chaos aren't exactly rooting for change. But if you can push past all that, upstream thinking is a superpower. It saves money, saves time, and makes life way less stressful in the long run. Plus, wouldn't you rather be the person who fixed the leak than the one who just keeps buying new towels? Bottom line, Heath's Upstream isn't just a business book, it's a wake-up call. Stop being proud of your firefighting skills and start figuring out how to keep stuff from catching fire in the first place. It's not glamorous, but it's a heck of a lot smarter. Heath throws out this story about college persistence programs. Basically, a lot of students were bailing during their first semester because, surprise, they felt like total outsiders. The fix? Not some expensive overhaul, just a quick half-hour video that told them, yeah, it's normal to feel like this. Boom. Retention shot up. Wild how something so cheap and simple can stop a much bigger headache down the line. Makes you wonder how often we overlook the easy wins because they seem, I dunno, too obvious or not flashy enough. Everybody wants the flashy fix, right? But honestly, it's those tiny adjustments that actually get crap done. It's like, sure, you could rip out all your pipes and play plumber hero, but just slapping a patch on that leak, way less glamorous, saves your socks from getting soggy, and hey, your basement's still dry. Sometimes boring wins. Honestly, If you want real leverage, you've got to dig past the obvious stuff and find out what's actually causing the mess. Surface level fixes are just band-aids. People love slapping a quick solution on a problem and calling it a day. But if you don't get to the root, you're pretty much just playing whack-a-mole. That's why these upstream interventions matter. Catch the nonsense before it snowballs. So how do you even spot problems early? You need some kind of radar. Upstream fixes are all about spotting trouble before it explodes. So you're gonna need data and a bit of future gazing. Heath talks about predictive analytics. Think healthcare, schools, even the cops are getting into it. In child welfare, for instance, they use data to flag families who might be at risk for abuse, so social workers can step in before things go south. Of course, all this data stuff gets dicey. Privacy, bias, you name it. Heath's not shy about pointing out those landmines. You really can't just go full Minority Report and start treating people like criminals because an algorithm got twitchy. There's a line between being proactive and being straight up invasive, and it's easy to cross if you're not careful. The trick is building a system that gives you a heads up without turning into Big Brother. Nobody wants that. Plus, you have to remember, data's only as good as the people interpreting it. Garbage in, garbage out, right? If your data is messed up, maybe it's biased or incomplete. You're just automating bad decisions faster. Now, about knowing if you're actually making a difference. That's tough. If you stop a crisis, how do you prove it was ***? Heath says you need solid numbers and feedback, stuff you can actually measure. He points to crime prevention projects that track not just arrests but real harm going down, like fewer shootings, fewer hospital runs. It's tempting to measure the easy stuff, but that's lazy. Sometimes, success is all about what ***did and single quotes T** happen. Kinda weird, but true. It's like trying to prove you didn't get food poisoning due to your hands being washed. The absence of disaster is still a win, but it's a tricky story to tell. You've got to get creative to measure prevention. The payoff's long-term, not instant, so patience is key. And you need metrics that actually matter, not just ones that look good on a spreadsheet. If you're just tracking the stuff that's easy to count, you'll miss the real impact. And hey, let's not pretend all prevention is automatically good. Well-meaning plans can totally backfire. Heath warns, don't get cocky, especially with big, complicated systems. You fix one thing, you might break another. Take those zero-tolerance, truancy rules, supposed to keep kids in school, ended up slapping them with criminal records instead. Oops. The solution? Listen to people who actually deal with this stuff. And don't be afraid to change course when reality smacks you in the face. Stakeholder feedback isn't just some box to check. It can be the difference between fixing a leak and flooding the whole house. Doing good upstream means you stay sharp, stay ethical, and keep learning as you go. There's always the risk of unintended consequences. But if you keep your ears open and your ego in check, you can usually dodge the worst landmines. Nobody gets it perfect on the first try. Anyway, money. Always the buzzkill. One of the big headaches with prevention is, who's gonna foot the bill? Sure, stopping a problem usually saves cash, but the person forking over the money isn't always the one who gets the savings. Classic case. City funds a program to cut homelessness, but the local hospital rakes in the savings when her visits drop. Not exactly fair. Heath brings up these pay-for-success deals, where investors only get paid if the program actually works. Kinda clever, honestly. We need more of that sort of outside-the-box thinking, otherwise nothing gets funded except stuff that pays off immediately, which kind of defeats the whole point of prevention. Bottom line, if you want real upstream change, you need creative funding, partnerships that cross boundaries, and a vision that goes way past next quarter. Otherwise, we're just running in circles, fixing the same messes over and over. And who has time for that? Real life stories. The good stuff. Not just theory. So Heath doesn't just drone on about theories, he actually digs up some wild, real life examples from all over. Like, there's this factory that slashed its product defects, not by just checking stuff more, but by actually fixing the process. Imagine that, solving the actual problem instead of just slapping on more inspections. Then there's a hotel chain that gave their front desk folks real power to keep customers happy, instead of just waiting for complaints to roll in. And get this, some communities straight up tackled huge issues, like hunger and domestic violence, by working together before things hit rock bottom. Bottom line, upstream thinking isn't just a pie-in-the-sky dream. It's gritty, it's practical, and it's already changing lives. But let's be real, it takes guts, teamwork, and a willingness to stop just putting out fires and actually fix what's broken. Making upstream thinking a habit, yeah, it's work. Heath's main point. This upstream stuff isn't just a trick you pull out of your hat. It's a whole way of seeing the world. It's about asking the tough questions, not falling for the easy fixes, and actually putting in the effort for the long haul, even when it's tempting to just hand the mess to someone else or hope it'll just disappear. People and organizations that go upstream, they're tougher, sure, but they're also way more decent. They actually keep people from getting hurt or left behind, and they build systems that help before things get ugly. Sounds basic, but honestly, most places don't do it. So, are you gonna step up or what? Upstream isn't just a book, it's basically a dare. Heath's waving the flag and saying, hey, most of these problems, we don't have to just live with them. If we switch up how we think, lead, and build stuff, we can stop being the cleanup crew and actually be the folks who keep the mess from happening in the first place. And he's not just pep talking, he actually hands you the playbook. Whether you're running a school, a business, a city, or just your own life, being an upstream leader, it's about spotting the stuff everyone else ignores, owning up when others duck responsibility, and doing the hard work now so someone else doesn't have to deal with a disaster later. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, but as Heath keeps proving, it's totally doable, and honestly, it might just be the most important thing you ever do.